The Steelers still have Ben Roethlisberger on the roster. He met with reporters yesterday at an OTA session, and he said a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
Let's begin with an exchange on his elbow surgery and what it may or may not have done to the teams passing the ball down the field in 2020. Here's the exchange with Ben Roethlisberger from Tuesday.
Hey, Ben, historically, you've been pretty good throwing the deep ball over your career. Last year, not so much. What was your reason for that? And did it have anything to do with the elbow at all, in your opinion?
Well, I was going to say, Mark, I had total reconstruction on my elbow. It might have something to do with it, but no excuses. It's my arm feels great though. I'd like to wait to answer that question until we get into more this season and see how it feels. Right now, it feels really good. I mean, my arm was healed. Obviously, I played. It was healthy, but I think anybody that has a big surgery, it almost takes like that year, that first year back. It's still you're back, but are you really back and feeling great? So that's why I want to reserve to answer that question until we get into the season a little bit to really let you know how my arm feels, even compared to last year. Chris,
I love it when we articulate the excuse and then say, no excuses.
Yeah, right.
And he did it with kind of a smile.
Yeah.
I think he's been around long enough that he realizes the cat's out of the bag by the time you say no excuses. This is one of those where there's a disconnect between what you read and what you see. And I think he knows, you know what, you got me there.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I had a total reconstruction of my elbow. That's why I didn't throw the ball down the field. Hey, no excuses, folks. No excuses.
Well,
The new men's cologne brought to you by Ben Roethlisberger. No excuses. It was weird.
awkward.
It was funny.
It was yeah.
It was self-aware.
Right.
But there was a self-awareness to it when he smiled. It's like, you got me here. I'm stepping right into this.
Yeah.
And now I understand why reporters don't like that. But hey, look, that had not been proffered by anyone as an excuse last year for the Steelers not throwing the ball down the field.
No.
It was more, that's just the way the offense is under Randy Fichtner, who is now not there for reasons including they didn't get the ball down the field. Nobody said, hey, this guy's elbow had a full reconstruction. They just weren't throwing the ball down the field.
No, exactly right. And listen, I mean, I don't know. Is he saying there, that's where I'm like, is he saying that affected it, or
yes,
he didn't feel the same throwing the ball deep down the field? I mean, I guess that's what he's saying. Yeah, but like, I'm with you a little bit there, Mike, in that aspect. I saw plenty of deep balls early in the year. It didn't look like it was an issue. It did throughout the year. I mean, I never looked at like him throwing the ball and went, oh man, he looks like he's got a popcorn, arm for an arm, a popcorn gun arm, like that kind of thing. No, I really didn't. I thought I saw the biggest drastic changes in his throwing when he kind of hurt his knee. What was that, week 4 or 5 a little bit? That's when I thought I noticed a difference. But we're showing some throws here that are aggressive down the field. There's no hitching his giddy up there or anything like that. So I'm actually surprised to hear him. I mean, I don't know if that was an excuse or he just got defensive all of a sudden or what, but I certainly didn't see anything physically that said, ooh, he can't do that, or ooh, he threw a 50-yard bomb to Claypool down the left sideline and I could tell it hurt his arm or anything. I couldn't tell that.
At the risk of pointing out the egg all over your head, it's pop gun.
Pop gun. That's what it is. Okay, thank you. I knew I said something. I can always tell by your face that I've said something stupid. I could tell you're just waiting for me to finish my point so you could correct me.
I'm not aware of a popcorn gun.
Yeah.
I would not be very afraid of a popcorn
Well, that's
gun.
why it kind of makes sense again.
Unpop popcorn, then yes, because that's essentially a handful of BBs. But if it's popcorn, bring it on. I'll stand down the barrel of a popcorn gun. Okay, you mentioned the knee,
right?
You mentioned the knee,
right?
And I think that's far more significant than anything that happened. And maybe that's why you had that little smile when you talk about the elbow. I don't want to go too next level here, but the reality is, near the end of the season, every week, someone was reporting on the struggles that Ben Roethlisberger was having with his knees. Not knee, with his knees. Every week, Steelers not listing him as having a knee issue on the injury report. And they got whacked in 2019 for not disclosing the elbow before the elbow went during the Week 2 game against the Seahawks. And, they do the whole thing. They fine the coach. They fine the organization. It's not a huge amount. It's basically a parking ticket, but it's still a rare indication by the NFL that we got some cheaters in here. And spoiler alert, they got cheaters in there, not just in Pittsburgh, but everywhere. People look, as Bill Cowher explained to Ed Bouchette of The Athletic recently, they're always looking for a way to get an advantage, and it's only cheating if you get caught. I don't know that that's really the right way to phrase it, but that's how Cowher phrased it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hey, they cheated the injury report in 2019. And maybe he didn't mention his knees because he doesn't want to go down that path.
Maybe.
But the knees were an issue, and he did address his late season struggles. Let's see if he mentions the knees. I haven't heard this part of it. Here's Roethlisberger from yesterday.
I didn't play well enough at the end of the season. It's no secret, and I'll be the first to point the thumb at myself. When the ball's in your hand every play, you have to make plays and you have to play better football. And that's if the quarterback myself is not playing good football, that almost, especially late in the season, is directly related to winning and losing. And so I'll take that playoff and those games on me is just feeling worn down and not playing good enough football at the end of the season.
Feeling worn down. Worn down in what way? That's the thing. The knees, you can't ignore what your eyes are seeing and what your ears are hearing when reporters are saying they're concerned about his knees, and you see him hobbling. And, that's the thing that concerns me about this experiment by the Steelers. They whipped themselves up into a state of delusion that this guy's 29, not 39.
Yeah, sure.
He's 39.
And
he's
real
had
39,
the total reconstruction.
and got
he's
hit a lot.
This is a 39-year-old rental car.
Right.
This is a car. This is not a vehicle that has been taken meticulous care of.
Right.
This is a car that has been beaten into the ground, and it's 39 years old.
Right.
And I just feel like it's just like we're suspending disbelief on that fact. Like, guys, he's still Ben Roethlisberger. He's a 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, and there's a difference.
There is a difference. There's no doubt. I think I still saw enough last year to go, no, you could win and you could do it with him. I will say that. Now, listen, you're right. I mean, it's a little crickety at times, and every now and then he needs a tune-up, and, there's a wheel wobbling, and that's why they got to change the way they play. It's not realistic. It's also why I'm not really buying, the arm thing either, right? Listen, if your arm is really hurting, and I'm not, challenging Big Ben here. I'm really not. I'm kind of just challenging the Steelers in general and everything here, though. But, if your arm's hurt, you don't throw the ball 608 times and throw the ball 50 times every game. They would have changed that. To me, it was the offense was the issue. I don't think it's about, Big Ben can't throw the ball down the field. I saw plenty of games where he was aggressive. To me, it was more maybe where he affected the offense is like we talked about last year, changing a run play to a short pass play and do all of that. But either way, we talked about this a lot. And I give him a lot of credit for one, taking the blame there, right there, say, I didn't play good enough. Hey, listen, that's really nice of him to say. They didn't do crap diddly squat to help him either at the end of the year. I'll say that for him, no doubt about it. I mean, come on. Short, predictable pass plays like we talked about, no run game, nothing there to help him out that way. So I really appreciate him taking one on the chin there for the team and all of that. But they have to change the way they're playing for the reasons you mentioned, so they're not so predictable. And if you just look at his season, as it goes, you can kind of always see the trend of teams caught on to what they did. Early in the year, they were throwing it more aggressively and getting more yards and doing things like that. As the year went on, we get into late in the year, Mike. I mean, he's having games where it's 5.1 yards, 4.5 yards per attempt and things like that. That just tells me a lack of aggressiveness, lack of, creativity in the offense to create big plays. And you see the numbers here. So, Big Ben wasn't at his best. I know that. But, like a Brady and to your point you're talking about, they got to help him be healthy and be the best he can be and not go, hey, you're 39 and we're going to ask you to drop back and with no run game, throw the ball and carry us, every game like you're a young guy. And that's where I just don't think it's realistic.
Well, look, a simple explanation. They had gotten away from the running game.
Yeah.
The short passing game became
the running game
replacement
right.
for the running game.
Right.
And after X number of games, defenses that study film and game plan for their contest against the Steelers saw what they were doing, and they didn't change it.
Yeah.
They kept doing it.
Yeah.
The receivers got criticized for drops. As you said last year, It's hard to hold on to the football when the safety is teeing off on the guy who's coming across the middle because they know it's going to be a short pass.
Right.
And they've seen it on film 100 times.
Right.
So, and you know, I appreciate that you're crediting Roethlisberger for taking blame here, but maybe he's taking the blame because that's where the blame resides. Because
well, I'm
he
sure
spent too much time changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he had no faith in the running game.
Yeah.
And he just decided, you know, I'm not going to hand it off to a guy who's going to gain 1 or 2 yards. I'm going to try to get the ball down the field a little bit. And look, we know the arm still works and the body still works because he got over 500 passing yards in the playoff.
Right, that's what I mean.
Part because he needed to.
Yeah.
But Chris, there's 17 regular season games
this
year. I still believe that by the time we get to November, one or both sides of this, player and team, are going to regret that he came back for one more year. Like Brett Favre in 2010, I think they're going to regret that they ran it back one more time.
Well, you know, they might. You're right. They're playing with fire. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I won't deny that. But I do think, like, one of the goals for the year for that team, and especially, again, I'll say it, with their backup quarterback situation, which I have no faith in, I'd like to state that one more time, that one of the goals for the year and something that should be on Mike Tomlin's radar is a little, again, I'm going to go back to Tampa. Protect Brady. Brady, protect him. We want to make sure he's okay, healthy, playoff run next year, whatever it may be. It's got to be a little bit part of their thought process when even game planning. You know, that's what you got to do when you have a quarterback of this age and you want him to survive through the year and be healthy. Yeah, you're going to have to manage practice and reps and do all things like that, but you're going to have to think about, you know, ooh, okay, I like this play, but man, you know, it could leave him open with a lack of protection here, and they bring this one extra guy sometimes on this blitz, and, you know, let's just err on keeping the tight end in and the running back in and make him feel comfortable. You know, so he feels comfortable, and then he doesn't get hit. It's, again, a lot like what we saw from Brady and them last year. They kind of just said, okay, forget trying to figure everything out. We're just going to make you feel comfortable and make it simple and just throw some strikes for us. And I think if they can stay within that mold, then they got a fighting chance to not have regret like you're talking about.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.